Hello and welcome to the fourth Q&A video from your favorite YouTuber. What? Sorry it's taken so long to get around to this, but here it is. It's also been quite a while since I've done a commentary sort of video, so hopefully it turns out fine. Anyway, before I get into the video questions, I'll address some commonly asked questions not specifically geared toward this Q&A video. Is Engines of New York Central coming out? Unfortunately, not most likely. I've addressed this in a community post, so please refer to that for a detailed explanation. All I'll say is if I change my mind, I'll keep you posted. What about the Marysville, Cass City, and Hiawatha series? Those honestly may unfortunately be cancelled. Now hold on, I'll explain. Please refer to my computer issues video for an explanation on that if you haven't already. I also would like to mention that the what actually happened to the Marysville, Cass City, and Hiawatha series video with Thanos is a joke. It's not meant to be taken seriously. The reason I consider cancellation is the year's amount of work done to them is a bit too daunting right now, and some differences in the rebuilds would be very drastic. In the meantime, I'd like to focus on the San Juan-Marysville crossover, as that can still happen, as I have the San Juan set. I also have another project in development, but that's another story. I'd also like to try and focus on new ideas I have in mind. However, I may attempt a minor rebuild of certain scenes and locations of the series, so for example in Marysville it might be the main hub, Cass City would also be the main hub, or Hiawatha would be the main hub, or one of the station scenes as well. And then I would continue each series as shorts. This, however, won't happen for quite some time though if it does, and if it does happen, I will keep you updated. Into the questions now. Side note, my opinions or favorites have changed since the last few Q&As, so if you come across any contradictions, just be aware of that. I also won't be able to get to every single question, so apologies if your question wasn't answered this time. There's always next Q&A. Santa Fe 669 asks, what's in store for the Marysville Railway and other projects similar to that? Well, I've just answered that now, haven't I? Grand Trunk Western or New York Central, one stays, the other goes. Oh, God! God! Grand Trunk Western stays. Santa Fe, yay or nay? That gets a yay from me, Chief. Railway City Rails asks, when creating the Marysville Railroad stories, what gave you the motivation towards putting so much time and dedication into it? I was inspired by the South Falls line and San Juan trains to make my own trains series for starters. Putting a lot of detail, time, and effort into the production of it comes in part to me being a perfectionist. I typically focus on tiny details, especially when building sets for the series, because while the viewer may not notice certain details, if I know what's there, then that'll make me happy with the results of it. I'm also very passionate when it comes to kind of writing stories and then putting them into some sort of video. So I really enjoy building trains routes, so that also inspires me to make them the best I can. Harrison La Time Traveler asks, in the Marysville Railroad series, how come Jackson has an Australian accent? Well, I made this decision because... When will you start doing the engines of New York Central? Please refer to earlier in the video for your answer. What do you enjoy doing on your channel? Pretty much everything, as I love making videos for fun and the enjoyment of others. Though I do especially like writing train stories or making one-off Railworks, aka Train Simulator, videos such as the Big Boy World Tour or the TGV on the Sacramento Northern. MetroFan181 asks, what is your favorite diesel-electric passenger locomotive? The F40PH and F40PHM-2. Okay, I'm sure you expected that, so I'll pick another one, and that one would probably be the Alco PA. What is your favorite diesel-electric freight locomotive? Probably the EMD F45. Max's Hobby Production asks, have you ever tried to DCC a locomotive? If so, may I suggest the B&O number 98 by Lifelike? No, I haven't. I'm not really technical with model trains, to be honest. Will you be seeing 4014 when she's in Steam?
Well, because it took me so long to upload this video, it's already in Steam, but we'll ignore that.
Hopefully at some point I will. When will the next layout update be? Your layout videos are awesome. They're my favorites along with the classic Marysville stories.
Well, because this video came out second, you can go check out the latest layout update video right now.
And thank you for your nice comment. Have you ever been to the Denver and Rio Grande, and if not, may I suggest traveling there in autumn? No, I haven't, but I'd like to visit one day. Do you collect classic Thomas merch such as Ertl, Take and Play, or Tomy? I have a few Ertls on hand, but they're in storage, but I have a trainload of old Tomy, Trackmaster, you name it, Thomas toys from years ago. Muhammad Fadil asks, thoughts about the P-42 DCs being replaced by Siemens Chargers? My local Amtrak line is supposed to be getting Chargers, so I'm gonna have to get used to it, but I don't really mind the Chargers. They're alright. Favorite heritage railway from the UK? The West Somerset Railway. Favorite Thomas character? Percy. Where are the memes? Well, that's a virus, but here you go. This is the memes virus. A northern boy asks, what's your favorite video game? Team Fortress 2. However, I also really like Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Galaxy, Sonic Unleashed and Generations, as well as most Kirby games I really enjoy. What's your favorite long-distance Amtrak train? The Empire Builder. I'm sure the scenery would be really diverse and photogenic to see. What's your least favorite locomotive out of Amtrak's roster since their beginning? I like pretty much everything Amtrak has, but if I really had to rank my least favorite, it's probably the CF7. Alberta Railfan asks, why do you like the Beatles? I think their sound is really unique, and I find their careers very interesting from beginning to their solo careers. Plus, Twist and Shout was also my first favorite song, as I had heard it on a restaurant radio when I was a kid, but I was too stupid to really know what it was. However, once I started to think back to years ago, I realized that's what the song was, and it's one of my all-time favorite songs. What is your favorite Beatles song?
Oh, you can't do this to me. Oh my god.
I'll just give my favorite songs from each album. For Please Please Me, it's Twist and Shout or Chains. For With the Beatles, it's All I've Got to Do. For A Hard Day's Night, it's And I Love Her. For Beatles for Sale, it's I'll Follow the Sun. For Help, it's Ticket to Ride or I Need You. Rubber Soul is In My Life. For Revolver, it's Good Day Sunshine. For Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, it's When I'm 64. For Magical Mystery Tour, it's Penny Lane. For the White Album, it's Back in the USSR. For Yellow Submarine, it's its title song, Yellow Submarine. For Abbey Road, it's Here Comes the Sun. And for Let It Be, it's One After 909 or Two of Us. Favorite Fallen Flag Railroad? Grand Trunk Western, if we aren't considering it still exists on paper. However, if you exclude the Grand Trunk Western, it would be New York Central. However, I've also mentioned New York Central, so another favorite would be the Chesapeake and Ohio. Borpster asks, what are you getting me for my birthday? Popcorn. How has your life changed as your channel got more popular? I mean, you're pretty famous. Bruh. I'd say I've been able to meet some awesome people and or new friends in the community, and it's definitely helped me be able to share a hobby I'm really passionate about, so I'd say this whole YouTube thing was for the better. Gamer time?
Yes, it is gamer time!
If you could bring Tobuscus back into the spotlight, would you? I mean, I'd honestly be curious to see how his early 2010s comedy would perform in 2019. It might be a bit dated in my opinion, but I'd still think it would be cool to see that he would be popular again, especially with Minecraft becoming really popular again. What are your thoughts on Xavier Renegade Angel?
I've never seen it, so have this picture of Donkey Kong instead.
Trey Fox asks, did you ever expect this channel to get popular? No, not at all, but I'm really thankful for all the support I have gotten. What would you say to other future rail fans who wish to take the same path you took? Well, everyone's path to YouTube's success is different, but for people just starting out, I'd say they should stick to what they like doing and have fun doing it. You'll eventually have an audience that follows you and supports your work, and also don't be afraid to try something new or branch out and just create something really cool and unique compared to everything else. Coke or Pepsi? Pepsi. Man. Wabash Cannonball asks, what's your favorite Amtrak locomotive? The F40PH. Other than the F40, it would be the AEM-7. Do you like heritage units? Yes, I do. My favorite is Norfolk Southern number 1066, the New York Central one. K5LA or K5LLA? K5LA. Z-Mark Anthony asks, Jared, you're a weenie. If you could build a new steam locomotive, much like the Tornado, P2, and T1 Trust, for excursion service, which one would you pick and why? I still stand with the new New York Central J3 Hudson being my pick, as it's pretty much the stereotypical steam locomotive design. However, if I were to pick something else, it'd be a Grand Trunk Western U4B because, well, I like Grand Trunk Western, and the U4B would be a cool streamliner to have in service again. DV42 asks, what is your favorite anime? K-On! Grand Trunk Western Railroad Channel asks, what's your favorite Frank Sinatra song? Come Fly With Me. What's your favorite type of horn/whistle? Nathan K5L for the horn, and a 5 or 6 chime for the whistle. Beox Boots Plays RB asks, what's your favorite Union Pacific Heritage Unit, favorite Norfolk Southern Heritage Unit, and CSX Heritage Unit? UP 1988, NS 1066, and CSX 911. Visitor Macrocephalus asks, Leslie or Nathan? I like both, but tend to prefer Nathan horns. What's your favorite railroad air horn? Nathan K5L. What's your favorite GE engine? GE's U30C.
Pretend I also mentioned the P42DC.
What's your opinion on electronic locomotive bells? I prefer mechanical bells, but e-bells are alright nonetheless. What's your favorite locomotive and passenger service today? F40PH. Other than the F40 again, would be the P42DC. JB Bowser asks, what kind of videos do you like? Well, I like quite a few, but I like gaming videos, commentary, history, and obviously train videos. Who's your favorite YouTuber? Well, there's quite a few I like, but to list off a few favorites would be Distant Signal, aka Danny Harmon, Markiplier, Super Mega, JonTron, Jaden Animations, Uncle Dane, Grande, Jacksepticeye, Gus Johnson, Scott the Waz, Some Ordinary Gamers, William Osman, iDubbbz, H3H3, RT Game,
Lazy Purple, Filthy Frank.
But there's plenty more I like as well. What's your favorite music? Generally, I like music between the 1940s and 80s, but a general favorite genre of mine is classic rock. Some favorite artists of mine include, obviously, the Beatles, including their solo careers, the Rolling Stones, Queen, Frank Sinatra, the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson, Huey Lewis and the News, Johnny Cash, Elvis, Chuck Berry, Gordon Lightfoot, and Hall & Oates. Favorite color? Blue. The Winnipeg Railfan asks, favorite Beatles album? Please please me. Out of all the Engines of Amtrak episodes, which is your most and or least favorite? My favorite is probably the Acela one because I felt the editing was fairly well done, but my least favorite would probably be the SDP-40F due to it being a bit unvaried in the style and just generally rough around the edges. The audio was black quality as well, but feel free to have your choice of favorite and least favorite. CP's The Canadian or CN's Supercontinental, The Canadian. Hall & Oates or Simon & Garfunkel, Hauling Oates. Sonic Mania or Forces. I haven't really played either, so I honestly couldn't give an opinion, sorry. However, I do prefer the whole 3D kind of boost Sonic game styles like in Unleashed and Generations, but despite the mixed reception of Sonic Forces, I'd probably choose Sonic Forces to play first. Norfolk 578 Productions asks, what is your favorite non-operational steam locomotive? Grand Trunk Western U3B number 6325. What is your favorite movie? I'm not really a big movie buff. I haven't really seen too many to be honest, but one of my favorites is 13 Days. It's a movie about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Do you prefer Rapido or Broadway Limited Imports as a model train manufacturer? Both I think make really good models, but the railroad schemes and locomotives Rapido makes are usually my preferred choice, so I'd honestly have to go with Rapido. How do you think you got where you are today? I'm not really sure myself. I think just doing what I had fun making and improving on that base got me to where I am now. And again, I'm really appreciative of all the support I have gotten. And thank you for that really nice bit at the end. Mary Byland /Silverliner fan asks, legit. How long have you loved Amtrak? Ever since the beginning of time. Duds asks, I would like to know how your love of trains and making videos came together. Well, like many people, I got into trains through just seeing them in person in Lionel Trains, Thomas and Friends, and several home train movies such as There Goes a Train,
I'm Engineer Dave.
Awesome Trains, I Want to Be a Train Engineer, and of course, I Love Toy Trains and I Love Big Trains. In terms of video creation, well, I've been watching YouTube for quite a few years, and always had the idea of kind of wanting to start my own YouTube channel to share my own videos and creations online. So I started recording the trains I saw in 2012 and then wanted to share those online since I also like trains. So, with that said, the rest was history starting in 2013 when I actually started my YouTube channel. Austin A14 asks, what is your favorite movie? What is your favorite movie? Another favorite movie of mine is A Hard Day's Night. What is your favorite Grand Trunk locomotive? Diesel or steam? My favorite is probably their J3A or U3B. For diesel, it'd be a GP38-2. What is your favorite band/bands? Well, as you probably already know, my all-time favorite, number 1, is the Beatles. And talking about bands specifically, I would pick the Rolling Stones, Queen, Journey, Led Zeppelin, and Huey Lewis and the News. Which do you prefer, the GEVO or SD70 Ace? The SD70 Ace, or ACE, however you say it. What railroad museum that you haven't been to would you like to go to? The Age of Steam Roundhouse in Sugar Creek, Ohio. I'd also like to visit Strasbourg one of these days. LHS Boy asks, what's your favorite European diesel locomotive? The British Railways Class 56. Rex the Railfanner asks, what's your favorite short line? Lake State Railway. Any significant changes on your layout since the last update?
Well, you can go check out the latest layout update video right now, and then you can see all the cool stuff that I added.
However, you can also keep up on my Instagram and you can see kind of pictures I take on the layout and just see if there's anything new that I've added or new models I've gotten. Favorite anime? I've already said K-On, but another favorite of mine is New Game.
Also Shirobako. JoJo seems alright too.
United Forever asks, got any plans for train day? Well, I'm a little late on that considering when this is being uploaded, but when I'm actually on time for train day, I'd probably just railfan somewhere or make a special video of some kind. That Bloke Will asks, my answer is, I don't know what this is, but I like it. The question is, Jared, what's the question?
It doesn't go like that, it goes like that. But it goes like that, and it goes through everything.
By Not asks, if you had the ability to bring any steam locomotive back from the scrapper's torch, which would it be and why? The New York Central J3A because, I like it, and it's cool, and it's good. Another one would probably be the Central of New Jersey G3 Pacific. What's your favorite era of railroading? Probably the 1950s to the 60s. What's your favorite song from the big band/swing era of music? Begin the Beguine by Glenn Miller and his orchestra. Got any plans for a series set in Train Simulator 2019? While it would be cool to make a series in Railworks, I've got other videos to focus on at the moment, so I haven't really any plans for a Railworks series right now, sorry. Shortline Gaming asks, what is your favorite model in trains? K&L's Grand Trunk Western U3B. Mainline.P asks, favorite narrow gauge steam locomotive? The Rio Grande K27. However, if we're counting any gauge smaller than standard, I'd say a JNR C62, as that is Cape gauge or 3 feet and 6 inches. Super NPSTR asks, do you like diesel or electric traction? I usually prefer diesel, but I do very much like electric traction such as interurbans and trams. What do you think is the fate of diesel locos and trains in the coming 20 to 30 years? I'd think diesels would still be in use, but I'm thinking they'll be even more emission friendly or green, and for trains in general, I'd imagine new electric, high-speed rail, and light rail systems such as trams will be in development or in place by then. Do you like European or Asian, Japanese and Chinese, trains? Yes, in fact, I'm a big fan of Japanese national railways and Chinese steam locomotives. I also very much enjoy British steam locomotives. Regarding engines in New York Central, I've addressed that in the commonly asked questions in the beginning of the video, so you can check there for your answer. What's your dream rail destination or journey from the world? I'd like to take Amtrak's Empire Builder from Chicago, Illinois to Seattle, Washington one of these days, or visit railways in Japan, the UK, France, Russia, or Germany. Mario Sonic 541 MS541 asks, why did you quit making Super Mario 64 bloopers? I stopped making them because at the time I wanted to try something new as like an experiment and see the reception I got. While it was mostly positive, they don't really fit on my channel, and nowadays I have other projects to get to and in the works, so you probably won't see any more from me, I apologize. Richman SCTV0 asks, serious question. If you could be stuck in any year, what would it be and where? I'd probably pick the 1980s and just where I live right now. The reasoning for this is railroads still had a pretty big variety of vintage and new equipment, like you could still see older first generation and second generation diesel locomotives, you could still see a caboose on the end of trains oftentimes. Many of my favorite music stars were alive, and I just think the technological advances and the technology at the time was pretty interesting. I also quite enjoy the 80s aesthetic with the whole VHS thing, and I enjoy music utilizing synthesizers, as that was pretty popular back then. Examples of that include like Hall & Oates, Michael Jackson, Matthew Wilder, Wham, Elton John, and The Police are some of them that I like. Unfunny content creators ask, how much wood could Woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck couldn't chuck views at Papa H3H3? Exactly 3.5 Ethans. Crazy Boy Virgil asks, what is your favorite streamlined steam locomotive? Excluding the New York Central J3A and Grand Trunk Western U4B, I do quite like Pennsylvania Railroad Streamlined K4. What is your favorite Payware Trains website? I don't really have a favorite because I think they're all good in their own way, but I'd probably have to pick maybe K&L Trains or Jointed Rail. What is your favorite N&W locomotive design? Class M 480 Mastodon. Which one do you like the best? Baldwin, Lima, or Alco? I think they're all pretty iconic and great builders, but I do like a lot of Baldwin designs, so probably Baldwin. Which steam locomotive would you choose to fully restore if you had the chance? If we exclude Grand Trunk Western 6325, I'd choose a New York Central Mohawk. B&O 5300 asks, what's your favorite B&O engine? Probably a Class T 482. Alan Vaquez asks, what is your favorite Steamtown locomotive? Probably Grand Trunk Western 6039, but I do like 3254 as well. Do you like staying up late?
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Can I ask a fourth question?
No.
SP745 Productions asks, what's your favorite steam locomotive? It's a bit of a broad question, so I'll give kind of a broad answer, but I usually tend to like a lot of 462 Pacific designs. I mean, they're rather versatile locomotives. They were kind of like an all-in-one sort of thing. They could run on lightweight track, and I just think railroads gave them a nice design and they look cool. What got you into Trains Simulator, model railroading, and trains in general? Quite a few years ago, I used to watch a lot of trains videos, whether it be crash compilations, horn and whistle showcases, rail fanning videos, or series. So I eventually got Trains 2012 as my first Trains game. As for model railroading, I love toy trains, and just Lionel Trains in general got me into model railroading. And for trains in general, you can refer to an earlier question for that answer. Western Pacific or Southern Pacific? Western Pacific. What's your favorite piece in your model railroad collection? My Bachmann DCC and Sound New York Central 280. Mooter asks, God damn it, when will Chessie be resurrected? With the Chessie Show in 2076. Mooter.
All right, I gotta leave, okay?
John, we just started. Come on, man.
Listen, there's a lot to see in this life. Not wasting it here.
That'll wrap it up for this fourth Q&A video. I apologize if I didn't get to your question, but there will be more Q&As in the future, so you always have a chance there. Hopefully I was able to answer your questions to the degree that you wanted, and if not, then I apologize. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.